All right, traders, I wanted to do an important updated price action analysis on BBIG stock and Pro stock. On both of these stocks, we are currently sitting at some key critical resistant levels. And within this video, I'm going to be explaining to you on how you can kind of determine if it's going to remain a resistance level, if it's going to remain bearish, and it's going to give you a better understanding on how low prices can go if they continue to turn into a resistance level. We're also going to be going over the potential upside if these stocks can break out and turn these key resistance levels into support level. So this video is going to give you a better understanding on terms of where these stocks are headed for the short term and also for the more mid to longer term. So let's get right into the price action analysis. So in terms of BBIG stock, this stock right now is at such a key critical resistance level, and it truly is either going to be make it or break it for this stock here. So what I wanted to point out in terms of the overall chart on this daily here is this major resistance. You have major resistance at 350s. Just a week later, it goes all the way down to $2.38. You have major resistance at 361. Just 2 weeks later, it goes all the way down to $2.16. So we are now approaching this situation where, as you could see, we retested the 350s just like we did right around here. And what happened? It quickly fell into the 250s. And what happened right here? It quickly fell into the 260s. Now it's ramping back up. Now it's ramping back up. And it is now approaching once again that key resistance level. It just topped out at 360. We do have the first red day coming in towards that key critical level. And the market has also been pushing stocks down into after hours. During after hours, this did have a small little bounce, but then it came pushing back down, currently at 326. So in terms of where this stock, stands in terms of right now, if this can't quickly go above this 360 level to 360, 360 level, it's either make it or break it. If it can't break out soon, this is going to quickly go back to not just 250s within some time. In terms of this chart, you're right here, you're towards this double top. This was the first time, and then this was the double top. This was the first time, and then this is the double top, right? So if this quickly can't go above, 360s, this is going to be on track to go lower than 250s. And within some time, you're going to see it fill this gap at 234. So basically what I'm telling you is if this stock cannot quickly go above this 360 level, it's going to start taking a beating, and it's going to start to fill this gap in terms of the gap fill at 234 right here. How quickly can it fill the gap if it is consistently, failing to go above this level? Within 2 to 3 weeks, it can go to 230s. So with that being said, in terms of the micro price action, if it can't go above the 360s and turn it into a support level, this is going to be on track to go to 230s within the next 3 weeks. And once it hits 230s, if you see it react as support, if you see the bullish candlesticks coming in, you can then try it for a day to swing trade, right? So that's kind of where this stock stands. Now, in terms of the bullish side of things, it needs and cannot crack this level right here. It cannot crack this 320s. If it cracks 320s, oh man, it's going to get fairly ugly for this stock within the next 2 to 3 weeks. It needs to stay above 320s. It needs to keep pushing above 360s, and it needs to turn 360s into support very, very quickly. If all of that can happen, then it's going to be on track to fill this gap. There's actually a small little gap to fill at 393. If 360 can turn into support, it goes to 393. If 393 reacts as a resistance, it goes back to lower threes. If 393 breaks out and turns into support, that's a true strong move that the bulls have gained some control for the macro, and then it would push to fill this gap. There's a gap to fill at 453. So that's kind of the bull side of the move. Where do I stand in terms of current price action, in terms of reactions I'm seeing? I think we're going to see something similar like this, where on this day, this was the double top right here. On this day, this was the double top right here where it previously topped, Next day, it forms this red candle. Next day, it forms this red candle at a lower high. Then it's just nothing but downhill, and it's already down in after hours. So with that being said, I personally think within the next 3 weeks, this stock is going to go to $2.34 to fill the gap. I'm more on the bearish side for the macro here. Now, in terms of PROG stock. So in terms of PROG stock, this is another similar double top setup. There was a gap to fill on PROG at $1.69. For some reason, it's just not showing. Damn, where did that? Oh, here it is. There's the gap. There's a gap to fill at 169. This did fill on this day during the pre-market. It hit like 180 something. but it still hasn't filled on the daily. So it attempted right here, it failed. It attempted right here, it failed. In terms of intraday price action, it attempted right here, it failed. Now it's red again. So in terms of PROG stock, things are looking extremely bearish. For this stock, it needs to stay above this this 143 level. There's a gap to fill at 143. It needs to stay above that. If so, it's going to push back to try to fill the gap. It needs to break out and turn that into a support level to push into the lower to mid twos. If it cannot do that, and then once this cracks 140s, this is over and it's going to go to $1.08. There's still a gap to fill at $1.08. Once it goes to $1.08, that's where you can see the gap close reversal. That's where you can see some sort of bullish run up once again. So in terms of where I stand on this, I would say as of now, at best, you have a 160 gap fill. But at first, it looks like it's going to fill this gap at 143. And overall, it looks like we're heading back to $1.08 within the next 3 weeks. In order for that to not happen, this needs to stay above 140s. It needs to break out and quickly turn 170 into support. I really don't see it turning 170, 169 into support. Overall, I'm still kind of bearish on the stock. I do like the little move it. So it had a nice little move up. It nearly filled the gap. It came back down, but then it formed some higher support compared to here. Had a nice move up, but it's failing to form those higher highs. It's failing to, turn this 160-ish level into a support level, which is bearish. And the bears are going to combat that, and see that. And then they're going to try to bring it right back down to 120s and then 108. So I'm bearish on it as well, along with BBIG for the next 3 weeks. And that's where I stand on both of these stocks. So that's, my thoughts. That's my price action analysis. I explained to you on the key dip levels on where you can consider buying. And I walked you through the key resistance levels on where you can consider shorting. These stocks really aren't that ideal to be playing options on. I mean, if you see something liquid, you can try and go for it. You could see some liquid options right here. People are playing the February 11th put options. You got some volume on those. In terms of BBIG, just know options are very, very tough with the smaller cap, the penny stocks, but you have people playing the puts as well on BBIG. Obviously, a lot more volume on the calls, but I really don't, with the current price action, I really wouldn't take that into consideration. But yeah, that's where I stand for both of these stocks. That's thoughts, that's analysis. I showed you the price action both ways, and I explained to you on why I feel they're going to be dropping within the next 3 weeks and what would need to happen for them to continue to rise and show true strength at such major resistance levels. So I will see you guys within the next video. For those of you within Trader Society, I will see you tomorrow live at Market Open. That's going to be the first link in the description down below if you are interested in checking out the private group. So I will see you guys within the next video, and I'll see you tomorrow live at Market Open.